Hey, you are listening to Not the Girl Next Door show, and I have Skydweller on today. How are you guys?
Hey, girl, hey. What's going on?
Could you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about the band.
Sure. I'm Seeger. I play guitar and I sing.
And I'm Jeremy. I play guitar and I don't sing.
He sings, but don't let him lie to you. So we've been a band for about 4 years now, right in that hard rock, alternative metal kind of vein. A lot of different influences. A lot of them are, sit in that hard rock vein, so that Deftones, Seven Dust, Nothing More. And then we try to pull, different things from different places. We like bands like Tesseract and Intronaut and, stuff that gets more technical. We love that stuff as well. So trying to ride that fine line and make music that we enjoy,
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, all Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I can hear it. It shines through.
She's a future artist.
That's why I don't say much. I'm just like her.
Oh, yeah.
He has the same booty, too.
You're making money off of that.
That's right.
Just say I'm not.
That's right. We don't sell merch. We just have people pay to see his booty.
Wow, that is quite the show. That I really do need to get to a show. I mean, to hear the music. Well, that's good. So how did you guys meet? How did you guys get together? What made you guys decide to start Skydweller?
Seeger and I were in a previous band together that got disrupted, and we've been playing together for, God, a long time.
Probably 6-7 years now, something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a good chunk of time, yeah. So yeah, that band kind of put out, and we knew we still wanted to jam together, so we started trying to piece something new together. And actually went through a few members, and nothing was really sticking. And we had actually kind of given up, we quit playing for a little bit, and then a good friend of ours ended up getting together with a guy that played drums, and they ended up getting married, and, they have a beautiful little girl now and everything. But he was like, yeah, I play drums, and he knew I played guitar, but I think neither one of us really thought either one was going to be very good. So we were like, yeah, cool, you play. But we actually together and jammed one day and clicked pretty well. So we were like, okay, this works. And then I was still going to SIU at the time, and I had classes with a guy that was he was doing the opposite curriculum of what I was doing, but we had multiple classes together. I knew he played bass. We had already bonded, similar influences and stuff before. And I was like, hey, I have this new thing going. You should come play bass. So he came and jammed with us, and just kind of went from there. So it kind of worked out really well.
So where did the name Skydweller, how did you guys come up with the name?
Kind of a take on the old band. We were in a band called Anodyne Sky together, and we kind of keep that central focus intact. Seeger wrote a bunch of lyrics with kind of a theme running throughout it. I had to deal with like space and that kind of
crap. kind of ancient civilization. And if anyone like Zachariah Sitchin, Anunnaki type stuff, it's all I'm really interested in all that. It's just fun to read that material. So started writing things that kind of followed a concept, and we wanted to keep that theme. So Skydweller was a name that actually popped out, and I was like, that works, that's perfect. I've always had a thing for one-word band names. I think they just flow better, Yeah. So
not the at the blank, from the blank into the blank.
Yeah. Some of those get a little crazy, and some of them work awesome. But I think for us, like it just fit perfect, so we stuck with it. It was actually a fairly process, which usually doesn't happen. Usually, a band name takes forever to get done. So we were very thankful for that.
I think it's very fitting because when I saw your name and I decided to check you out, I talked about this on my show before. It's kind of like you don't really want to judge a band, like don't judge a book by its cover, because some bands, when I see their names, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to be like deathcore metal, and then you listen to them and they're like poppy rock, and I'm like, that is so not fitting. But it is fitting for you, who I think you guys are as a band or your sound, I think.
Cool. That's perfect. And we always try to be mindful of any promotional materials or pictures or anything we put out, because the concept of your image, carries some weight too. And I think there's bands that are better at that and bands that are worse at that, and we're definitely not, the best at it, but we try to pay attention to it because people look at that. If your promotional materials and images and stuff look good, people are more likely to want to check you out and want to take you seriously and be like, well, this is a local band. I actually kind of want to listen to and see what they sound like. And
if you don't look like a local band, then maybe somebody will pay attention to you.
Yeah, so where you're not throwing up a Facebook page and it just looks like garbage, Which I think we put a lot of work into what we do. We love what we do, but we all have specific tastes and we work hard at our craft and our music and what we're doing. So it's why wouldn't we put the same amount of work into, the social media and all that. So it's definitely a part of the whole package, I think. And I'm very much a tactile, I still like buying CDs and reading the cover and seeing the artwork. And so that all, comes through as well. I think we're all kind of on that same level when it comes to that.
I think a lot of guys in bands have said that they still like buying the CDs and like seeing the artwork, the lyrics all laid out and whatever else they have. I think most people who are into music, whether it be musicians or fans or at least, let's just say people over the age of 30, that's how we grew up. That's how, that was the highlight. That was the highlight of, I remember working my first job, like going out and buying that CD. That CD release was like, you were there. You're going to spend what little money you had on those CDs.
Yeah, I still remember my first CD.
What was your first CD?
It was Green Day, Dookie.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I literally think my first CD was a Spin Doctors CD, and it was only because my dad got it and didn't like it. I had just got one of the first Walkman CD players, and he was like, "Here, listen to this." I'm like, all right. And now I know it like the back of my hand because it was all I had for a little while.
Yeah, I had the same CD.
Yeah, it was actually a decent album. It was, I can't remember the name. It was the white one that had two princes and stuff on it. But I still have it. It's still running around.
That was my song, Two Princes.
Yeah.
I really did like it.
Good. It was good. And then, from there you get the classics. You get the AC/DC Back in Black, the Black Sabbath Paranoid.
Black Sabbath is pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I had I'm a big Sammy Hagar fan, so Sammy Hagar Marching to Mars was one of my first albums that I got. I think I had a Collective Soul. It was kind of all over the place. All of that were both really big in the music. And, I kind of got the best of both worlds, where my dad was more like metal, thrash and stuff, and then my mom's more like your Rush, and dad was more Rush, but Foreigner and Boston and Journey, and so I loved all that stuff. Queen, Greatest Hits was actually one of my first CDs. That just made me think of that. So, yeah.
So what goes into writing music for your band? Is it a collaborative process? Does everybody do their own thing? Does one person do the writing and the lyrics, and you guys just kind of jam and see what works? Or how does the musical process work for you guys?
I guess it depends on the song. Seeger does all of the lyrics and writes all the vocal melodies, but, other sections of the music come from Brandon, Caleb, myself, Seeger. It just really depends. Somebody will have a riff. Somebody else will have something to go with it. And then we kind of build it from there.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think every song's been, there's been stuff where I've come in with songs that are, have a rough structure and I kind of know where it's going, but then we'll tweak it together and add parts, and everybody will kind of put their flavor on it. And same thing, Jeremy will come in with an idea and have stuff and stuff to work on. And sometimes it starts with lyrics, sometimes it starts with music. I know for me, I'm always writing this stuff on the lyrical side of things. I think it's important to have a bank of stuff to work on.
Sure.
I've never been great at trying to write something legitimate on the spot. I have to work through it and do some different drafts and see what I like and pick and choose, and because I want I want to try to put my best work out, you know, because I've always been a big lyric person anyway, even before I started singing. So that's important to me. But then also, you know, having all this work on the music, make sure the music is where we went. But it's definitely, I'd say every song we've done has been different. You know, we've got Bloodlines is actually something that our drummer had a rhythm that he'd been working on, and then him and Jeremy got together and kind of hashed out the structure, and then Caleb put a bass line on it, and I put lyrics to it, and we kind of tweaked it from there to get it where we wanted it, and that's just like every song's been a little different, you know, so, which is good because then you get those different approaches will lead to different ideas that kind of pop in, and I always work better bouncing off of people, so I'm not the type of person that I could ever be like a solo artist. I would hate it. I wouldn't have fun with it. And I don't feel like I'm creative enough to be able to do that. I got to have somebody like share ideas with. And, you know, that's another reason why like Jeremy and I stay playing together, because we complement each other well. So
yeah, because I go on wild tangents and he pulls me back.
He goes on wild tangents, and then out of that tangent, there's some awesome chunks of stuff that we can use. And I'm like, we need to record these things, you know, and then kind of piece them together. So it works out well. We have a good mix that kind of works.
Well, I have to agree because, you know, I've been playing your song, and you're gonna have to correct me because I know me and you went back and forth. Is it Ghost and Echoes? Because I have it marked as Ghost and Echo, but is it supposed to be with the ES or not?
No, it's just Echo. So when we put up the music, something happened. I think it was mainly just Spotify, but something happened. Is it like that on Apple too? But for some reason it popped up, and they pluralized it for some reason. But it's supposed to just be Ghost and Echo.
That's what I changed it. I put it on there because I was like, man, I thought this come over as an MP3 like that. But yes, that is the song that I've been playing. So talk about that song. Tell us a little bit about, if you can tell us what it's about and anything you want about going into it, because I've been, you know, playing that on the show for a while now, and it's a killer song.
That's the one I'm most proud of. I put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a riff. Starting with the music part of it, the riff and a good chunk of the structure, Jeremy had laid down in a rough demo and sent it to us, and we were all kind of like, yeah, we're working on that next practice, and then we pieced it together from there. And that was probably the first song that lended itself to that kind of heavier vocal, because everything we had kind of written before that had just been kind of, I don't want to say a little more laid back, but definitely not as aggressive. And as soon as we started playing that, I was like, oh no, I've got to get angry on this.
It came together like super quick too. That was one of the fastest songs we've ever written.
Yeah, it was probably one of the quickest ones we've worked through, and it's still one of our favorites. We still love playing that, because, you know, there's songs where we've been playing them for a while and we kind of get burned out. That's still a song we can play, and it's still, you know, it's fun to play, it's still fun to do, and it's fun for me because I don't play guitar on it, so I can put my guitar down and just grab the mic and go crazy. So I only have like 2 songs that I can do that in, so I take advantage anywhere I can, because I'm not stuck behind the microphone and the pedal board. That's the only bad thing about doing double duty there. But lyrics are always one of those things where I kind of like to take the Maynard approach, where I don't always like delving into lyrical meanings. Sure. And mainly because I feel like I want the person to take away what it means to them, you know. And a lot of stuff I write, I find you end up being able to pull multiple meanings from, and it's not something that like I'm intuitively trying to do. Just by the time it gets done, I'm reading through it, and I'm kind of thinking about the concept. It's able to fit multiple things, which I like, because I think that means more, you know. So you keep it a little bit more vague, so to speak, and then it can fit, you know. And there's a couple kind of obvious themes I think that run through it, but yeah, I'll leave that up to the listener to kind of piece through that.
I thought it was about Ghostbusters.
It is about Ghostbusters. You're correct. Yeah. That's it. Now you know. Take us out.
Thanks. No,
I'd like to do a video to that, but the concept we have in mind, like it would take some time and effort for sure. We just haven't got around to it yet. So.
Well, I think that's good because it's universal, and I told this story. I think it's like I'll just give you an example of back when I was 16, 17 years old and I listened to Alice in Chains. Like, even though this may sound very naive, I knew nothing about drugs or heroin, but everything that I heard in Alice in Chains was like identifying with me. But now that I'm older, and obviously throughout the years since then, I mean, it's obvious he was talking about his heroin addiction. But to me back then it wasn't, and I wasn't just interpreting it how I thought it was for me, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, going through whatever I thought I was going through at the time, and definitely not a drug addiction. So it is good to leave it up to interpretation to whoever's listening.
Right. Once you, especially when you're talking about things that have to do with mental states, emotions, kind of the human condition in general, that gets very broad. So even if you're talking about something like addiction, that could be, different things to different people that are in completely different situations, but still makes sense to them.
Right.
Certain lines kind of hit home and everything. So that's always been something I've always really liked. It's one of those things where these artists, put their heart and soul into their music and what they're doing, and then you can kind of take different pieces of it that fit your life in different ways. It's awesome. So we try to do the same.
Yeah, I think that's the art of music, and I said this before, that music is anything that makes you feel. There's music that makes you feel happy, there's music that makes you feel sad, and you need to feel these different ways. Like I've talked to people who are like, oh, I can't listen to that song, it's too much and it's overwhelming. But for me as a person, I need to hear like something that encompasses everything. I listen to songs that make me happy, make me sad, make me angry, make me everything. So that's the art of music that I think is awesome.
Absolutely. Even something as simple as just having like a gym mix. I have a playlist on my phone that I listen to at the gym, and it's going to be mostly heavier stuff and like heavier rap and stuff like that. But it gets you in that mindset. I wouldn't be going in listening to like some laid back, it just wouldn't work quite as well.
Of course.
So yeah, I mean, absolutely. Trying to kind of get the music that fits the situation, fits the mood. Cruising in the truck, might throw on some Old Weekend or something, Massive Attack, that just kind of chill music. But yeah, we have all these tools at our disposal, so to speak. They come by way of music, and then we can use them however they fit our, fit our emotion, fit what we need.
I agree. And now when you guys take that, and you take that music that you poured your heart and souls into, and you guys get to play a live show, how does it feel to get up and play a live show, live concert, and you see people rocking out to your music or singing your lyrics? Like, how does that feel as a band to go up there and see that?
The crowd interaction is what makes or breaks the show for me. Like, if you can tell people are really into it, I mean, there's no better, there's really nothing better than having a bunch of people on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we all love playing shows, but definitely if it's a show where it's, and all bands have those shows where it's like you're basically just having band practice on stage, and it's
still fun.
Yeah, when you have those, it's still fun, but it definitely doesn't even come close to when you have a crowd of people in front of you and they're getting into it and they appreciate it, and that's a whole different feeling, emotion, and you always want to play like you're playing to a crowd of hundreds of people, but it's in the back of your mind, when there's two people standing out in front and they're just kind of like meh. You're like, well, okay, it is what it is, But yeah, absolutely. When you're playing and people dig it and you're able to have some more fun with it, that's the best,
Well, as long as you're not like Aaron Lewis and you're telling them to shut up,
Oh my God! The more the more articles I see of him, I'm like, I'm liking you less and less. Like I just can't. And I like old Stain, like Stain Dysfunction was probably one of the first CDs I had too. You know, I still put that on every now and then. And some of his country stuff is okay, you know, but he's kind of become a douche. You know, he's done a couple of things recently. I'm like, I don't know how big your head is or how big your ego is nowadays, but I think you're pushing a little too far. I think you need to come back down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see a tiny fraction. Like, I'm not a huge Aaron Lewis. I'm like you. I go back in the original Stain stuff, yeah, and I know he does country now, and I don't get into country, but I kind of see how it could jade him after all these years, but he needs to tone it down a notch. I mean, excuse me, I've been at shows where, you know, they were smaller shows, and I'm jamming out to the band, and the 20 people behind me won't shut up. And I was like, shut up, I'm listening to this, you know. And in smaller bars and stuff, you know, you can't, you know, it's not that easy, you know, and you hear people laughing and, ha, 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 and being drunk and silly and stuff, you know. And it's like, just let me do my thing. So I guess I can see a tiny bit, but, man, those are your fans. I mean, they're paying your bills technically. So.
Well, and I think, I'm pretty sure at those shows he was trying to do it unplugged. Like it was just a guitar and him.
Yeah.
And I think that's always going to be a problem. You're always going to have people talking, especially if you're in a bar, you're in, I don't remember what venues he was at, but people are going to talk. There's going to be noise, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to go in there with just an acoustic and just sing, you know, without a mic and all that, I think you're putting yourself at risk. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That just seems like a bad plan. You know, anytime, even if, you know, I do acoustic shows every now and then, even when we do that, we have a small PA, we're still pushing a little bit of sound because you have to come up above some of that because you're going to have some background noise. You're going to have a noise floor you kind of have to deal with. So I think part of that's his fault.
Yeah.
You gotta come prepared better than that, especially at his level. You know, you're going to have to meet people that come to see you, you know, and the more people you have, the more that kind of ground level noise is going to increase just from sheer quantity. So I think it's more planning on his part. So,
well, you know, now that I think about it, you know, especially, and I don't want to stereotype, but like, I think we're in such a fast-paced world now, and I think that's why music has changed so much over the world. I mean, people used to buy CDs and get into the whole band, every single song on the CD, and go to a concert, and they would know everything. But now it's like you can buy song per song by song. You know, you can like a band because they sing one song, and people's attention spans suck now. So that's another thing that, you know, kind of go into play, you know, for some of that stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that definitely feeds in. You know, we were talking about CDs and albums and stuff earlier. That generation is kind of, I don't want to say it's past, because it's definitely, you know, and people are going back and buying more vinyl and doing stuff like that. But, yeah. Absolutely. More of like the single serving, you know. Even with us, you know, the main focus this year was to try to get an album done. But the more we talked about it and kind of sat down, like ran it through, it was one of those things where we were like, is an album really the best thing for the band to do, or is this just something we're doing to mark off the bucket list? You know, so
right.
I think we're going to shift focus. We've got 2 songs we're trying to get done fairly soon, so we can kind of put them out as singles just to get some material out and try to kind of release something like that. So we're still going to work towards the album, but we're going to be putting stuff out in the meantime as well. And it's going to, you know, because it's going to take time to get the album done and do all that. So. But that's part of it, because this day and age, it's you know, you download one song off iTunes, or you get on Spotify, or you're on Pandora, whatever. So at some level, you have to be cognizant of that and use it to your advantage. You know.
No, and there's a lot of bands that are doing it like that. You know, release by release by release by release, and you know, maybe they'll do a small EP. I mean. That's just the way it is. And I mean, I never really thought about it until, you know, I think about people and how they listen to music now, especially younger people. But, you know, I'm a big music nerd. If I like one song, I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to listen to all the rest. But that's just me, and I know most people aren't like that. But that's just how I do. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. And I definitely, with that, use it to my advantage, because I'll use streaming services, and we have, Apple Music and to check stuff out. But if there's something I really like, I'll go out and buy the CD,
right,
and do it that way. So that way I'm still supporting them more than just the streaming would be, because bands don't hardly make anything off streaming and stuff. But especially bands at our level, an album nowadays is probably not the best idea. When it's something that everyone wants to do, like it's still something that's kind of at the top of our list, but we're having to kind of shift some things around, because just to be able to put out material and keep kind of a steady stream of stuff going on. An album is great for us, but maybe not so great for just the musical climate, so to speak, of how people are absorbing music.
I agree. So you've kind of answered one of my next questions. So you have new music that's going to come out. What do you guys have going on for the rest of 2019? What are our plans? You guys have a lot of shows coming up? Do you guys have any music videos that we're doing? What are we doing for the rest of the year?
We have a couple shows coming up the next few months, and they're slowly accumulating. We're hoping to pick up some speed, momentum here over the summer. This last summer we didn't do as much as I would like.
Yeah, we're trying to stay busy, especially through the holidays. We kind of hit a lull where you'll have 2 or 3 months where we don't get a whole lot done, and we've all made comments of how we don't like that. So we're like, why do we do that? But right now we're pretty steadily booked, probably a show or two a month for pretty much for the rest of the year until through the summer, I'll say. August, September, we probably won't play out. My wife is actually pregnant, so she's due in August, so we'll probably take some time off around the time. But then, trying to stay busy. Want to do a big Halloween show. Want to do a big music show. Try to keep out there and keep moving. When you grow stagnant, it just kind of sucks. Everybody kind of loses their creative spark, and it's no fun for musicians. You want to keep working on something, anything. No music videos in the works at this moment. That's not to say we might not.
We've kicked some ideas around now.
Yeah, so if we can get that done this year, we may do that. We might. One of the songs we're going to try to get released in the next, hopefully, couple months. We have some live footage from Rockfest that we did not too long ago. We'll probably get some really good live footage from that, so we may actually make a video out of that. And then kind of go from there, see what we can do. But we have 2 songs for sure we want to get out by summer. And I think people will like them. One is a little more technical, so people will like more technically based music. It's one that takes a little while to get tight because we put a little bit more work into it. And we got another one that's a little more chunky, a little more heavy, So different tastes, so to speak, that are kind of coming out that are a little different than things we've done in the past. So we're excited about those, and kind of expanding the breadth of what we've done so far. But definitely need to get some music out.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Priority number 1 at this time.
Yeah.
Getting those.
So this is where you plug the band. Where can people find your music? Where can people find, if you guys got merch out there, where can people find your stuff? Do you have a website? Is it all on social media? Tell us about that.
We have MySpace.
Oh, MySpace?
That's it.
Okay.
That's all we have. That's all we have. MySpace. We have MySpace, and what was the one before that? Friendster.
It was just
I can't remember.
It's just space.
Just space.
No ownership.
So we're on the typical social media. So we have Instagram and Facebook. We do have merch. Anyone can get a hold of us, and we have some stickers and magnets and bracelets and shirts. We have a couple demos running around. We're about to print some more for the time being until we get some new songs done. And if anyone's ever interested in that stuff, you can always get a hold of us, and we're happy to mail that stuff out to you. We have PayPal and all that, so it's quick, easy, and simple. we have a website as well. It's linked through our Facebook if you want to check that out. Pretty basic, straightforward, but we use, like most bands nowadays, we use Facebook probably more than anything. But we're kind of all over the place. Let's see. As far as show, come check us out, come hang out, have a beer. It should be a good time.
Awesome. I thank you guys for coming on the show. Like I said before, it's been, I'm happy to have you guys on. You guys come back anytime. If you have new music news, new music you want to talk about, come back.